Hello friends, today we are going to talk about the communication system. What is a communication system? A communication system requires two major things, that is, how the data which we need to transfer is to be communicated, and second, the main thing is the networking part. Networking, in the first slide I told you about how two computers talk. They follow a particular architecture and a topology, and then only they will be able to communicate what they need to transfer, right? So data communication see about all the ways how a signal could be encoded, could be transferred through various types of tools and techniques. And the networking part keeps knowledge about how the data is transferred and which topology to be followed and which architecture to be followed between the devices so that the devices could talk to each other, right? Now, the communication process. The process of describing and transferring of information, data, or instructions between one or more systems through some media is the communication process. Now, for example, the transfer of information is starting from some computers or some people through some cell phones and all, right? Now this information transferred should be in form of some signals. Those signals could be some electrical pulses or electromagnetic pulses or maybe optical light pulses, right? In the case of optical fibers. Now these signals are further divided into two kinds. There are two kinds of signals, the analog signals, which are known as the electrical continuous wave, and the digital signals, which are individual electrical pulses. We'll be talking about these in detail in our next slide, next presentation. Okay, now the analog signals, I would give you a rough idea, are those signals. For example, I am talking to you, right? So the signal which is coming out through my voice is an analog signals. It is a continuous signal. It has value at each location, right? While the data which is transferred from a computer to some wire connected to it, right, which is connecting to, for example, a printer. So the data which is transferring through that wire is in the form of digital, right? Because computer only understands the digital form, right? Here in the diagram, you are able to see that there is a sender who is sending some information through the media, through the communication channel. This wire could be the communication channel to the receivers. There are two receivers who are receiving the information through this medium. This is the communication channel from this sender. This sender could be some people or computer or cell phone, and again these receivers could be desktop, mainframes, computers or cell phones, right? Now coming up to the pictorial representation of the communication system. Here you can see that there are two computers. This would give you a better idea, right? There are two computers. These two computers need to communicate. How are they going to communicate? They are requiring a communication system. These modems, the telephone lines, are going to act as a communication system for these two computers, right? And the data which is going to flow through these telephone lines and the modem would be either in the form of analog signal, that is, while the data is in telephone line, it is in the form of an analog signal, right? And while the data is being transferred from a computer to modem, at that point in time the data is in the form of digital signals, right? Now the basic components of communication, right? The first is the communication technologies. What are the communication technologies? See, satellite. Here the picture is showing some satellite is being used, right? See, here the picture is showing that routers are being used. Here router is being used. Some signals are being received. So these are all the devices which are being used to transfer the information, right? Now, the technologies could be the topologies which are being used. See, this uh, satellite would be following some topology to transfer information from here to here, right? And again, some technology should be followed to transfer information from here to here. The person is maybe, this is a car shown, the person may be talking on phone, right? And the information from the satellite is directly transferred to the phone, right? And these are the devices. Now, what is the communication channel over here? These wires again are the communication channels. Phone and laptops are the devices. These are again the devices, as well as these devices helps to maintain the communication channel, right? And these devices would be working with the help of some or the other software, right? Because these all are hardwares. How these hardwares are going to talk? They would be needing help of softwares. This also is a hardware, 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 everything is a hardware. Now these hardware needs to communicate with the help of some softwares. So there are some softwares which are required to help these hardwares to transfer the information, right? Now here you can see the pictorial representation of the same thing which we saw in the last slide. Here you can see a source. There is a source which is transmitting some information to the transmitter. This is the whole transmission system. The whole transmission system includes the public telephone network, right? That includes the routers, the gateway, the bridges, right? The satellites itself, everything is under this public telephone network, right? This is making the transmission system. This is you sending some information to your modem. The modem is your transmitter. This transmitter is going to transmit your information to the public network, and again the person who needs to receive your information would be receiving on his transmitter, and transmitter is going to transfer the information into the system. Here it is written server. In the place of server, it could be any system also, right?